I do know what you're talking about, but I don't know what you're talking about. Which is no. But no, the answer to that question, no.
Wait, do you hear Kratz?
I can't hear Kratz at all.
Oh. So, Kratz, you look fantastic. Oh, you're back. You're back.
Okay,
Go
good.
Ahead, Kratz.
That was scary. But it's not a Jim Joyce Galarraga situation. So, no, I don't think this situation applies that you're going to explain.
I was just going to say Cesar Salazar brought out the lineup card for the Yankees-Astros game.
Maybe he's a big Aaron Boone fan. I brought up the lineup card one time in High A because the manager of the High A team was Mike Schmidt, who was one of my favorite players of all time.
That's cool. Yeah, I doubt that's why. Maybe. I doubt he said, hey, I want to talk to Booney before he gets thrown out for the billionth time. So anyway, we'll get more into the Astros side of things with Chandler Rome. We have a Chandler Rome day.
Yeah, we need Chandler Rome.
We love Chandler.
There's a lot of explaining to do.
There is. But let's start with the other side of the equation. You had a night where it was a light night for late action. So many eyes were on the Yankees and Astros. And many eyes were on the umpire.
His eyes weren't on the screen.
Right.
That was actually so fitting. That was the most fitting Ump Show intro we've ever had.
Y'all acted like this was the worst game of all time. He wasn't that bad. He missed.
No, I understand, but it was funny that Kratz was talking and Ump Show played over him, which is the essence of Ump Show. It's not about you. It's about Ump Show. Wait, so he wasn't bad when you compare him to how everyone grades a game, but it was heavily tilted. The ump scorecard came out like an hour ago, and it was heavily tilted towards the Astros side. Whatever. We deal with this all the time. We're a month away from this not being much of a problem because the bad calls can get overturned. But his overall favor was plus 1.4 for Houston. That's a big number.
Huge.
Like, look at the ump scorecards. Like, look at the last 10 on the Twitter sheet, okay? And you'll see the overall favor. 0.23, 0.06, 0.24, 0.14. I'm just scrolling through everyone else from the night. 0.21, 0.13. 1.4 is a massive number where he was heavily tilting his calls towards Houston. It's just what happened.
Listen. Yeah, I know where y'all are going with this. Don't, because you're going to say, oh, he was totally against the Yankees.
No.
But
I wasn't going to say that.
You kind of are saying, 1.4 is a huge number.
I'm telling you why the Yankees were pissed off, including the last strike of the game where it wasn't a strike. So you're going to have pissed off people.
Okay. But don't say certain, there's people online saying things and stuff like that's dumb. Like,
we can say what they say. We're a show that says whatever.
Stop. Yeah, they're saying
people are like,
Red Sox
he's a Red Sox fan.
Just stop, okay? Stop and don't say things like that because I've been around umpire. Every person that plays is a fan of something or umps or does whatever. They are a fan of something. And I was a fan of certain teams, and it wasn't like I said, oh man, I'm playing a certain team. I'm going to strike out today. And I talk to umpires all the time, and they grew up in certain areas. And to be honest with you, the ones I knew that were from certain places actually went the other way and went against the team of the places they were from.
Overcompensating?
Trying to show. They would say there would be. I remember when I was with the Twins, there was a couple umpires from Minnesota, and we thought we were like, man, we're getting screwed. Why? He's from Minnesota and he doesn't want to show any bias. So they would actually go the other way.
I don't like that either.
No,
but
trust me.
I understand.
But it makes more sense than this.
Sure.
I mean, this guy's not trying to screw the Yankees out of a game because, go Red Sox? Like, come on.
No. We can put that to rest. We shouldn't even waste this much time on it because umpires, Brian Walsh just didn't become an umpire like a week ago. He's been doing this for years, probably over 10 years in the minor leagues. All your fandom just gets washed out of the way. He's there to do his job. And it leaned towards the Astros. This is a value. All this receiving and everything, this is a value that a lot of teams put a huge number on, and the Yankees are probably the top. That's probably why I got signed 4 different times by the Yankees and traded for, because receiving is such a high value And you see why. Ends up being a one-run game. And you can point to a couple pitches that maybe the Yankees should have gotten while Wells was back there and didn't. And a couple pitches that the Astros got that kind of screwed the Yankees over when they were hitting. It's a lot for one team. And this is why the receiving value is super high, because it can swing a game like this.
Let's all admit that it was lopsided. It doesn't matter what his intent was. There were 21 missed calls in the game, 15 went against the Yankees. That's all I was saying. Now, here's my next question from a psychology component. When Devin Williams is barking at the ump, and we can get into the Yankees bullpen in a moment, that's an issue of its own. And then Aaron Boone comes out, and he's basically the guy in Major League Baseball these days that gets tossed the most and really brings it to the umps. And he's saying, you suck, you're terrible at your job, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Do you think that affects the umpire at all for the rest of the game? Do you think it's a zero?
They try not to, but
I know, but do you think that it affects them?
To.
So I don't care about
when
the bias.
When you're constantly on an umpire, eventually they get tired of it. And they're like, well, yeah, well, screw you.
So then is it like final pitch of the game? Get out of my face.
No. I don't think so.
Okay, I'm just asking.
No, that's usually when they bear down more.
Yes. I think it was a really big – he got the call wrong. It happens. That is a really good slider that if you watch how Yadier, I think it was Yadier, it wasn't Victor, catches it, he does a great job. That pitch is coming – it was backdoor to Jazz, the left-handed hitter, and the catcher went with it and caught it. Like, maybe give him some credit too, because that's big-time manipulation. And, he got it. Maybe he sees that pitch is such a close pitch. That's considered a 50-50 pitch. And it went the Astros' way. It's not – no. Now, if Jazz had said something in the at-bat, I know umpires hold grudges in that way. Like, oh, man, the 1-2 pitch – the 1-1 pitch, it's called a strike and it was a ball. And he's like, oh, that's you. Are you serious? Like, there's no way you can call that. Yeah, then maybe umpires will lean a certain way and kind of get the hitter. But no, Boone was gone long before that.
Let's bring in this Brendan Cootie tweet.
Also, hold up. That pitch wasn't that bad. Like, even if you look on the MLB, it's what? A millimeter from hitting the strike zone?
It's a 50-50 ball.
And also, let's not forget, that little box that we keep showing on the thing isn't 100% accurate also.
Understood.
Let's also understand that. So that pitch is a perfect pitch. And if he calls it a ball, the Astros are probably like, man, that's strike.
It wasn't a strike, though. You think it was a strike?
I'm looking at that.
If you're the ump, what's your call?
In the moment.
You think it's that close?
It's that close. It literally is that close.
It's
not like Diaz was like, oh, over here.
It wasn't Angel Hernandez calling Wyatt Langford, but it was a ball, no?
Dude, that's a pitch that if you're hitting, you're like, crap, man, that was a really good pitch. And, of course, Jazz is going to be mad. It's the last out of the game in a close game that they need to win.
No, here's the argument then. I think I know where AJ leans on this argument because I watched him play, and I look at his numbers. If it's close, you got to protect. The other side of that argument is dudes are throwing 99 miles an hour, and I have to protect an extra 2 inches off the plate. Makes it really tough. So that's the two sides of the argument. In my opinion, I can't go down looking there. But I also didn't have half the walks that Jazz Chisholm has, or the entire Yankees lineup is just averse to swinging out of the strike zone. So they're going to take all the borderline pitches, and when it doesn't go their way, that's part.
Yeah, but that ball's not 2 inches off the plate. That ball's like half an inch off the plate. Look at the MLB thing. Look at even where it is on the dot. That ball's that far off the plate.
But I'm saying then the ball is.
Look at that. That's not 2 inches. The little box outside the box is the allowable zone.
Right. That's what I'm saying. The ball is 2 inches. So if the plate is 17 inches and there's a ball on both sides that you have to protect, that's an extra 2 inches on the outside, 2 inches on the inside. This is where the ABS challenge system is going to be exciting, and people are going to argue with the fact that a pitch that almost touches the strike zone and a pitch that does touch the strike zone, like, oh, we should just throw those out. Like, it's going to be an exciting conversation we're going to have all year next year.
Mm-hmm. I want to get to this other part. So Devin Williams had a bad day. I would be highly concerned about trusting him in the playoffs. But he wasn't the only one. This was a one-run win for Houston because of the late home run by Cody Bellinger, right?
Off of Abreu.
Off of Abreu. Okay, but wait.
The Astros closer.
Doval came in and had some issues. Balk, wild pitch. Here's the tweet from Brendan Cootie about the issue that they were having with the pitch comm. And the Yankees broadcast with Michael Kay was very critical of how he said there's always issues with pitch comm. This is what Austin Wells, Yankees catcher, said about the Doval balk. With Camilo, he doesn't really speak great English. We only have one pitch comm that really works with just Spanish. The umpires seem to not. He didn't really care or what the deal was, but said he gave us a chance to fix it the first time that we went out there and then decided that it was a disengagement. And we were trying to explain to him to our case. He said that we were lucky that we didn't get a violation and that it was just a balk. So a lot of people are like, Ump Show. I'm like, Tech Show.
No.
One option? They don't have a backup?
I don't speak Spanish. I don't speak a lot of languages. I mean, I speak enough Spanish in baseball to get by. Camilo Doval should understand fastball, slider, changeup. I mean, come on.
But wait, hold up. Even if he doesn't, why do we only have one in Spanish?
That's
just
also
get another one.
We can't have more than one?
$15 billion sport.
At this point doesn't understand fastball?
Yeah, but okay. Do you think that's a bigger problem? Or when you chit-chat with the team that's worth $8 billion, hey, maybe we should have a few more of these?
Yeah, that's also a problem.
Duh. What? There's one? I saw that, I was like, one?
This whole thing is
one?
crazy.
Kratz, one? That's like, oh, the battery died and we don't have any left. Oh, well.
There's so many things to unpack with this. We got people like, we got satellites orbiting the Earth and we can't get pitch comm to like work. Like, what? I can't hear anything. And then, I mean, just the night before, it must be a Houston thing. Houston, we have a problem. Because Framber, his couldn't. He was like, what? Sinker? Salazar was like, no, curveball. Okay, sinker. Perfect. Right down the middle. But, like, it's when you want to win a championship, there are countless people that want to dot their I's and cross their T's so a team wins a championship. That's what you have to do from every level of it. If this is true, if you have one pitch comm that speaks Spanish, you need to have more than that. That's sorry, I can't get on board with that. So we need to dig deeper into this.
Yeah, that's all. I'm just saying you can be critical of the ump. You can be critical of the player for not knowing the pitch in English. But really, what are we doing with the pitch comm? What are we doing?
What are we doing with the pitchers?
We should have 20 of those.
What are we doing with the pitchers out of the bullpen?
When I saw that. Yeah.
What about
I'm hoping that's fixed right away.
Fix the Yankees bullpen.
That's another issue. I'll give you the stat on the way out here. So they have 12 losses when leading by 2 runs or more in the 6th inning or later. Second worst to the Diamondbacks. I could also make a case Giancarlo Stanton maybe should be replaced for defense for innings 6 through 9. But whatever. That's another story.
Not when they're losing. No? The play is not there.
No, they were winning. They were winning by 3? Was it 4-1?
Yeah. 4-1.
And then they started doing the strategy of hit to Stanton and win a prize?
No, that's not nice.
I know, but come on. He should not be in the field. Anyway.
He's playing left field in Houston. Left field in Houston. You're covering basically anything that Volpe can't get.
Playing with fire.
Well, yeah.
He should not be in the field, but that's another story. Let's get to Jim Bowden next, our resident GM on FT. FT fam, designer clothes can be expensive, but we want our clothes to look good, we want to feel good, we want them to be affordable. And Kratz, if you tell me that I can wear a t-shirt that looks like it's tailored, but it's not actually tailored, and it just comes that way, then sign me up for True Classic.
Have to. You got to sign up for it because these shirts are soft, they're thin, they're durable, and they're very versatile. You can wear them to the gym, you can wear them out to a nice dinner. Let's get after it because these shirts are the real deal.
They are. Check it out. I've got one of the performance ones. It's a nice blue, fits well. I can go to the gym. I can go out. I can do FT in a shirt like this. FT fam, there's a reason why True Classic has sold over 25 million shirts to more than 5 million customers, and they are racking up over 200,000 5-star reviews. See for yourself with our exclusive link at trueclassic.com/foul to save. That's trueclassic.com/FOUL. The Mets are rich with pitching prospects. Here comes another one. We just got the news as the show started. Welcome Brandon Sproat to the show to make his MLB debut and to start on Sunday afternoon against the Reds.
Mm-hmm. Is that a real mustache?
Another good pitching prospect.
It is.
Good mustache.
Hung out with this guy before, so he's good. Yeah,
you hung out with him?
Yeah, Gator.
What do you got on him?
Florida, Georgia. He came and hung out, tailgate.
What do you got, though? Like, what was he
100.
like? Did you feel like he will
100.
die for you on the mound?
I mean, I don't know about that. I mean, it's kind of hard when you're maybe drinking to really get a full sense of somebody's.
Sometimes you get the real sense
he was
of
great.
someone.
He was a nice kid.
Yeah.
I mean, he was a nice kid.
He's got good stuff.
Yeah, great stuff. He was hurt a little bit, though. That was the thing. He was at one point going to his junior year. I think he was talked about being the possible number one pick. Sproat, and then he didn't have a great junior year. And I think he got hurt.
Well, now it's looking like the Mets had a better minor league rotation than major league rotation.
Don't say that. Come on, dude.
Why? For the top three? Top three. Do you want Tong, Sproat, and McLean, or anyone else on the Mets?
Yet, so we don't know.
I know, but man, he's got a lot of pressure, Kratz. The other two have looked fire in their 5 combined starts?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe the pitching development is working, and that's why they never pay for pitching.
It's your boy Stearns. The Brewers do it too.
And they continue to do it. They've done it for about 6 or 7 years now.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good model. It's a good model. It's just tough to do in New York when you sign a Frankie Montas, and that doesn't work out. And Sean Manaea coming back on 3 years, 75. That's not working out so far. It's a volatile way of trying to go through a season.
Senga's not good either, but maybe this is your.
Senga hasn't
That
been.
wasn't
Senga,
third.
Here's
That
the thing
wasn't
about Senga. Senga hasn't been great the whole time.
Yeah. Front Office Unfiltered. Our resident GM, Jim Bowden, is here. JB, first off, I actually think it's worth explaining the sweatshirt. Do you know why he's got a USC sweatshirt?
Yeah, his kid is the GM or something.
Yeah. They had a nice little score.
Explain it to us.
I saw the score on Saturday. JB, what was that
73 to 13.
Wow.
Who'd they play?
That GM put together some team.
That's the point.
What a GM.
Yeah, that's the point. Yeah.
Who'd they play?
Missouri State. Missouri
Who?
State.
Missouri State.
Exactly.
But whatever. I mean, would you
Exactly.
rather
They
it
got
be 20 to
everyone
13? Yeah. But still,
They've got
JB.
another win coming with Georgia Southern on Saturday, so that'll be another romp, hopefully. But that'll get them ready for when the schedule gets tough. But yeah, it was a mismatch. It kind of felt like an NFL team playing 8th graders. Like even on the field prior to the game, I'm like, oh, this is not going to be nice, and it wasn't. But it was a nice win, nice way for him to start his career at USC.
Were you on the field?
I was.
Wow. That's electric. What's better, to be on the field for a baseball game or a college football game?
Well, for a baseball game, the only way I was ever on a field is when they put the screen up during a spring training B game, and you'd sit right behind home plate. But besides that, you're sitting behind home plate in the scout section or up in the executive box, so you're not really on the field as an executive.
Yeah, better to be right. You're in a much better
only
spot
problem
on
with
the
being
field for
in a
football.
football game, whether it's college or NFL, the atmospheres are great. You can't see
Right.
because you're better off being higher almost than you are, because on the field, especially at the level that Jim's talking about, I've been on the field for NFL and college. You got to chase the play, so you always have. It's a lot of walking. You got to jump in front of it, and then if there's a turnover, then you got to run back to the other end, and it's constantly like this, because if you get too far behind and then they go all the way to the other end and you're like, I can't see anything. Oh, they just ran it. Did they get a first down? So you want to run up and try to it's awful. Like 2007 Florida, Georgia, I was standing on the goal line when the Georgia team charged the field, and I was like, what the hell is happening here?
You didn't even know what happened.
No idea what was happening.
The
That's
sounds are
standing
great,
right there.
though. The sounds are great, right?
The sounds
JB?
are great, yeah. If you ever get the chance to go on the field for an NFL game, when they used to do kickoffs, holy crap! Those dudes would run down, and it was full speed. Two guys, sound like explosions.
Yeah, big men.
All right, let's jump into the AL West first. JB, I actually want to start with the whole division, really. What do you have on the state of the American League West with the Mariners not figuring out how to win games on the road, the Rangers having a lane and not really taking it, and then Houston gaining a little bit of separation here?
Yeah, I mean, I think with Seattle, I want to know who did this schedule. Like, are you kidding me? You get to the dog days of August, and you're going to put them on the road for 10 days from August 12th to the 20th to play Baltimore, New York, and Philadelphia. And then you're going to send them right back on the road for another 9 games on the East Coast in Cleveland, Tampa, and Atlanta. I mean, who does that? Seattle already always has the worst travel schedule of any team in Major League Baseball by far. We know that. But then you're going to get to the dog days of August and do that to them twice? Like, come on. That scheduling it isn't right. And look, I'm not making excuses, but I kind of am, because that's tough. That's a grind on players. And look, the big boys last 30 days haven't gotten it done. We get that. Cal Raleigh's hitting 211. Eugenio Suarez hitting 204. Randy Arozarena 209 over the last 30 days. And 3/5 of their rotation not getting it done, right? Louis Castillo's ERA is 7.88. George Kirby's is 5.23, and Logan Gilbert 4.62 over their last 5 starts, each of them. So, yeah, your star players aren't performing like they have, but I'm telling you, this schedule has really hurt them. I think when they settle back and they're done the Atlanta series and they get home, I think you'll see them start to turn things around. Now, for Texas, I think they would have made the playoffs had they not had ridiculous injuries to their star players. Their ace, Nathan Eovaldi, who was actually in the conversation with Tariq Skubal and Garrett Crochet for Cy Young, goes down for the year, and they lose him. Then their 2 most expensive players, Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, join them. They're out for the year. And then Evan Carter, their young stud who never got going last year because of injuries, they lose him with a fracture too. So, you look at the Texas Rangers, they're going to fall short. But 4 key guys they lose for the stretch, and they were within striking distance. And so then in terms of Houston, yeah, they're going to be able to hold on. They're going to be able to win this division once again, which, by the way, is miraculous when you consider losing Bregman, losing Tucker, and then losing Alvarez for a lot of the season, Jeremy Pena for a lot of the season. For them to be sitting here and winning the division anyway, great job by GM Dana Brown and manager Joe Espada. They deserve a lot of credit.
You get the whole AL West to choose from. Do you take any of them to even make the World Series, let alone win the World Series? Or is this, of the divisions, a division that you're like, nah, it's a pillow fight out there, and when they play the better teams, they're all going to be out of it?
Yeah, I think Seattle can run the table. If they're pitching and playing up to performance, I think they have the rotation. I think they have the impact closer. And I certainly think they have enough offense now with the pickups that they did at the trade deadline, getting Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez from Arizona. Cal Raleigh's going to finish first or second in the MVP voting. Randy Arozarena is having the best year of his career. J-Rod's doing what he always does, which is rake in the second half of the year. I look at Seattle, and again, it comes down to starting pitching. And right now, 3/5 of the rotation not getting it done. But they have a lot of talent in that rotation. So if I was to pick one of the teams in the West to see could they run the table come October, yeah, I think Seattle could.
Hey, before we get to Framber and throwing balls at teammates, I want to ask you: Did you watch the Mariners game last night against the Rays? They fell behind 6-0, and George Kirby chucked one right at Lowe. Oh, it's not Brandon Lowe.
Josh.
Lowe.
Josh
Lowe. Sorry, there was too many lows and lows on the Rays forever. So, but he hits them like. How do you? I mean, is that just something that happens? Because the Rays broadcast went after him. I mean, Brian Anderson and not Callis. Is it Callis? No. The guy for the
Stotts.
Dwayne Stotts went after. We were like, hey, you don't be throwing dude. Like, is this a thing still in baseball where you get mad and you just chuck a ball? I'm not accusing Kirby, but it looked pretty bad.
Did you hear him post game too? By the way,
no.
Yeah, it looked really bad. I didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. Look, I don't mind a pitcher getting frustrated when hitters are leaning over and you want to knock them back a little bit to get them off the plate so they don't lean over like that. I'm okay with that. But when you're frustrated because they're hitting you and it's on you, then I've never liked that or appreciated that.
Agreed. Okay, now we'll go to Framber. By the way, what Kirby say postgame?
He was just saying he was pitching inside. I'm looking to get it. He said, it's baseball. They called an inside heater, tried to throw it in.
How come nobody ever just says, you know what, I chucked one at the dude because I was pissed? Like,
Cole Hamels did. Cole Hamels did. He got suspended 5 games.
That's why you don't say it.
I know.
But you lose money.
Yeah,
that's right.
And he's not
and
rich
he gets
yet.
Suspended, so. Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Smart. So smart of these guys. But all right, now let's go to the Framber situation, Jim. Have you ever been on a team where something like this has happened? You know, someone's accused of trying to intentionally hurt a guy on his own team. Not that we're saying that happened, but, you know, people are talking about this. Of course, Framber comes out, no, it wasn't intentional. Have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything like it at the major league level. I have seen it at the minor league level. When I was a farm director, I saw it, unfortunately. But I've never seen it at the big league level like that. And the body language was absolutely terrible. I mean, to me, it looked totally intentional. And I think it's hard to kind of defend because if it was a communication thing, I think right after it happened, I thought Valdez would walk towards the catcher and immediately, you know, have a conversation, which he didn't. He just turned around and looked out into center field. So it looked intentional. It was disgusting. If I was the catcher, I would have popped him one.
All right. Well, you're a GM that's looking at a starting pitcher in the free agency market. Are you completely, because of this one action and I guess some other immature things he's done in his career, are you avoiding it, or are you at least saying, you know what, I'd still take Framber, but for X amount less?
Yeah, I'm signing him for exactly what I would have signed him before this incident. We're talking about a guy that's a 3-time All-Star that has finished top 10 Cy Young 3 years in a row. He's got 12 wins right now with a 3 ERA. I got to cover him and watch him win a World Series. I like winning World Series. I'm okay signing him. Before I sign him, I want to have the conversation with him about what happened. Look him in the eye, talk about the incident, because certainly that is something that's completely unacceptable and wrong. Would have explained to him that if he was on my team when that happened, I would have suspended him without pay, even if I was in a pennant race. And that's something that's just unacceptable, and we're not going to go forward with that. But that being said, do I want to sign him? Sure. You know how hard it is to get pitchers that finish top 10 in Cy Young every single year? They're really hard to get. And I really like winning. And the best starting pitching normally gets to play in October. So, yeah, I would absolutely sign him despite the incident. But I certainly would go through the incident with him, communicate. I like to hear what he had to say off the record, behind the scenes, whatever, see if he owns up on it. But, yes, I would sign him anyway. And, no, I would not say you have to take a discount because in the free agent market, he doesn't have to take a discount. He's going to get whatever the market says. GMs are going to sign Framber Valdez because, yes, he's that good at pitching.
JB, do you think that he should have publicly apologized versus denying that there was any intent? Because it's not just about him doing that publicly versus privately. What happens is teammates, your manager, everyone has to answer and back you up, even though everyone knows what really happened.
Yeah, I think you're always better being transparent. I think you're always better off saying, I did it, I was frustrated, it's inexcusable. I apologize to the catcher. I'm sorry to my teammates, and then own it and then go forward. That's the best way to handle situations like that, in my opinion.
Okay. Let's move to the American League East. Have your thoughts changed at all with the Roman Anthony injury? And I saw a quote from Alex Cora telling him that he should visualize an at-bat in the ALCS. And to me, that means they don't expect him to return until the ALCS if they get there.
Yeah, so, I mean, look, it's a huge blow. What a great rookie. What a young, budding superstar we're talking about. And to me, it's amazing that the Red Sox have lost 3 of their best young players for the foreseeable future. And Roman Anthony and Marcelo Meyer and Yadier Abreu, which people aren't talking about enough because you would think either Anthony or Abreu should be in right field instead of Sogard. So it's been a huge setback for Boston. Obviously, if they get to the playoffs and the oblique has a chance to get healthy, yeah, of course you want them out there. And look, Boston's going to get to the playoffs because they've been able to figure out their 4 of their top starting pitchers. Garrett Crochet is going to finish second to Tariq Skubal in terms of the Cy Young voting. Brian Bayo, since he put that cutter into his repertoire, has been great since June. Lucas Giolito has proven that the brace procedure for Tommy John is going to work going forward. That's been huge for the medical industry, not just for Giolito and the Red Sox. And Peyton Tolley, when he came up, wow, was that David Wells or was that David Wells? So Boston's looking there with 4 good starters. They extended their closer, Aroldis Chapman, who now has finally figured out that you don't have to go out and drink and smoke cigars all night. And so he's figured out that, I can have command and control. So look, Boston's going to get there despite these injuries. I think they're going to have a hard time moving on in the playoffs, to be honest. I don't know if that lineup is going to be good enough, but I know one thing. Alex Cora is one of the best managers in baseball, and he always overachieves. But it's been great to watch Roman Anthony, without a doubt. He's going to be a superstar for years to come. I'm glad the Red Sox were able to sign him at the numbers Craig Breslow was able to do. And Boston, look, they're going to be a wild card team, and we'll see what happens. Hopefully Anthony will get healthier quicker than the timetable.
Jim, aren't they happy they signed Anthony and Campbell and some of these guys, Chapman, to these extensions? Now they're all hurt. One's in the minors, one's hurt, and the other one has figured it out. So good job, Red Sox.
Yeah, but
good job.
But keep in mind, AJ, like, the savings isn't on the front end of any of these contracts. The savings in the back end. And the control of their free agent years are there. So, injuries are part of the game. It's going to happen. It's been unfortunate that it's happened at the level it has for Boston. But they're going to save money on all these deals when it's all said and done.
Hey, it's like USC before NIL. They were just paying guys just no one knew about it, right? Well, I mean,
everyone was.
I mean, Reggie Bush? No, wait, sorry. Excuse me. I mean, wrong sport. Got to go back to baseball. Who do you trust more? Who do you trust more right now? The Red Sox and where they're at, or the Yankees bullpen and what they've been doing? Because they have just turned into a complete, not what we thought. Because remember at the trade deadline, they were like, oh my gosh, the Yankees might have one of the best bullpens of all time. And Devin Williams, Weaver, Doval last night doesn't understand fastball in his ear. I mean, it's like, what the heck is happening to the Yankees bullpen?
Yeah, I mean, all year, what are they? Their bullpen is 21st in team ERA with 21 blown saves this year. I mean, yeah, it's been a total disaster. But, you look over the last couple of weeks, they do have 3 relievers in general that have pitched well: David Bednar, Luke Weaver, and Fernando Cruz. Bednar's ERA is 1.69 his last 9 appearances. Weaver's is 2.13 in his 11, and Cruz is 1.69 in his last 5. So, they do have 3 guys there. They don't have a lot of depth in the bullpen like we thought the Yankees were going to have. But look, this is a league where teams are filled with pimples, and some are going to pop and some are not going to pop at the end of the day. Yankees, they've got a chance. I think we're going to learn a lot about the Yankees here over the next 9 games. They took advantage of the easy schedule, but all year they've struggled against the good teams. They struggle against Toronto. They struggle against Boston. Well, now they have a run of having to play the division leaders in the league, and we're going to find out about the New York Yankees. We're going to find out, in my opinion, how good they are. So we'll have to sit, watch, see how that goes. It's certainly been a very inconsistent year for them, but there is no dominant team in the American League, and we have to keep that in mind.
How much do you, as a front office, get into Boone's ear? Because I know the Yankees front office really pushes a lot of stuff like this of using Devin Williams in the sense of, hey, we got to use him. He needs to be a big part of this playoff bullpen. Or is it something that what he's done already for the 5 months washes out anything that I'm thinking I can use him for the playoffs?
Yeah, I've always been a big believer in what the Hall of Famer Joe Torre's philosophy always was. I'm going with a hot hand at all times. When I get down to September and I go into October, I could care less what Baseball Reference or Fangraph says about what you've done in the past. I don't even care. I care what my eyeballs are seeing. I care about what your eyeballs are looking me in the eye and what you look like when you're on top of the bump. And I just want to win games. And I could care less what your history is. I want the best guys out there, period. And that's what I would be conveying to Aaron Boone, the manager, if I was in the front office. Like, here's the analytics we have to provide for you. Here's our opinion of what we think, but you're the manager. Trust your eyes and put the best guy in to win. Don't worry about contracts. Don't worry about history. Just get out there and give us the best shot to win every single out, every single pitch.
That sounds like the Mets right now with all their pitching prospects, which we can get to. I'm going to save that one. We'll get to that maybe next week with JB once we see Brandon Sproat debut over the weekend. JB, thank you for the time. Great stuff as always. Good to see you. Go Trojans.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah. Right on.
Peace.
I mean, I think it just comes with the territory, you know. I mean, baseball has a lot of wear and tear on the body, and you play it for a long time, as long as I have, and, you know, there's going to be injuries and setbacks and stuff like that. It's just, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I think I knew I was kind of pushing it, you know, from, you know, earlier this year when I was first diagnosed with talking to when I was with the D-backs with kind of surgery was an option then, and then I was feeling good. Kind of just kept pushing it, and, you know, just doesn't seem like it held up.
Would that have been Tommy John?
I think it would have been go in there and brace it and then fix the flexor and stuff. So just kind of, going along that route for sure.
It's a longtime big leaguer, former teammate of yours, Shelby Miller, who felt the elbow pop. And then when you get to a certain age, you're like, do I want to go through all of this again?
Just got his 10 years. So that's a nice bonus for him.
Yeah.
But, man, he's already been through a lot. I remember when he had Tommy John the first time. People forget Shelby was really good when he first came up.
Started.
And then he got traded to the Diamondbacks for Inciarte and Dansby Swanson. I think there was another one in there.
Can't believe they traded Dansby Swanson.
Yeah.
Before even seeing him in the bigs. Your 1-1 gets dealt. That's
how
ballsy.
good Shelby was, though.
That's true.
Diamondbacks thought Shelby was really good.
He was really good.
Yeah, this sucks for Shelby, man. And I just had Shelby. He was getting ready to come on the show, and then
we can still get him on at some point.
I know. I can still ask him. It's just weird when guys are hurt. You know, I'm in Milwaukee next weekend, so I'll ask him when I see him.
Grayson Rodriguez comes on, and hey, it's been a tough run for him, but I give him a ton of credit. Yeah. People really love to hear the guys when they're going through things. You know, it's easy to come on the show when everything's great. Not easy to come on the show when Kratz or Kevin Pillar and you get DFA'd and then you show up the next day. I think that's kind of the difference maker when you see some guys show up like that. So it's worth a shot.
I'll ask him.
See where
he's
at.
He's a good guy. He's a good fellow. Him and I have a long history together. So
yeah.
To come back from an injury, you have to be 100% all in. And if there's a thought like, do I really want to do this? He has time before surgery to make that decision, but he's committing to not playing next year. And he's really honest about it. And I'm sure that is tough to do. Do I want to put an entire year in of rehab? Because if you're not fully committed, I don't care what age it is, it's tough.
Yeah, he turns 35 next month. Be right back. Did you see these quotes from Cardinals hitting coach Brant Braun and their manager Oli Marmol, who I give credit to? He is a straight shooter, and I know a lot of you players always look for that, right? So Jordan Walker's 23 years old, over 1,000 plate appearances in the bigs. He first got called up at age 20. They sped him through the minor leagues.
Well, he
raked. Then they sent him down very quickly. They also asked him to play a different position once he came up to the show. There's been a lot, right? But let's refocus here. So the quotes from Oli Marmol: I need to see Jordan have a sense of urgency for the things that need to take place in order to give him consistent results. That goes with his move toward the ball, his preparation in the cage, but also his approach in a game. You have to start to see progress. I think it's important as you're evaluating the next month, you need to start to see progress and consistency. Brant Braun said on his daily structure level at some point in time, he's going to have to devote more focus on preparation. We've had long conversations on this when Jordan Walker's ready to be good. We all know the potential. I don't even think he knows the ceiling. And then I will give you Jordan Walker, not in reply to these specific comments, but kind of the most recent comments. He's not a super open guy with the media, but Katie Wu got some quotes in The Athletic. Jordan said, sometimes, but not consciously, I'll get in the box and think, this is what's comfortable right now, and it might be something that I get used to. looking at the tape, I'm standing wide and getting more into my legs, and I'm stepping towards the plate. Even when I'm going bat, I'm doing that. It doesn't feel like my old swing at all. Going back is, I guess, what's comfortable. When I look at the tape, it doesn't look like the old swing, so now I'm trying to keep towards the approach. I'm like, I'm confused just listening to that.
That's a lot happening.
Bro, we need to simplify things, and also your coaches say you need to work harder.
That's pretty much what they're saying. They're saying he doesn't study and he doesn't work hard, which is not what you really wanted to hear, because that's something that you can control. You control your effort. I'm not saying he doesn't try and he doesn't. Maybe he thinks he's working hard, but they want to see more. I don't know, but a swing change in the middle of the year is really hard.
He does it all the time.
Well, that's because they're always trying something different.
But he doesn't have to listen, Kratz. I mean, Royce Lewis gets asked to do things. He'll do some stuff, but like he mentioned, I'm not going to change everything because you could totally fall off the map.
Or he came up and hit 280 and got sent down, and they're like, hey, you need to elevate the ball more. Okay, I'll try to do that. It didn't work. At what point do you say, I want to do my thing? I think it's hard to hear a first-round pick being basically called out by the hitting coach and the manager, hey, we need him to work a little bit more. We just saw this yesterday when we were talking about Taj Bradley, about how he didn't do scouting reports. It's not for everybody. Like everything that everybody does is not for everybody. But when you're not going well, they're going to point to those things that you see the majority of big league hitters, successful big league hitters, doing. So if it's, hey, what does more work mean, or what does more focus look like? That's the conversation he has to have if he wants to stay a big leaguer, because prospect status starts running out.
True. But what are you gonna do?
They brought this publicly.
Here's the thing, though. Like, if you ask the Cardinal people, when you say, oh, he was hitting 280, but yeah, he was hitting 280, but with no power and a lot of ground balls that were getting through. So what do you want? Do you want a guy that can maybe hit you 300 with 15, or do you want a guy that hit you in today's world, 220 with 30 is way more valuable than 290 with 15.
But maybe his game is more 290 with 15, and
I agree.
That
maybe
still
that's
could
what
play.
He is.
Yeah,
but they're trying to make him into the.
He's a monster
one of the things I'll say
too.
about the game today, and Kratz, you know this. They try to make everybody into the same player. Everybody's not the same player. That's why Luis Arraez stands out so much for what he does. They want everybody to strike out 200 times and hit 40 homers.
And when you look at Jordan Walker, what do you say?
You see him and you're like, dang, this dude is gigantic. He should be that guy. But at the same time, if he can hit 290, hit 15 to 25 every year, and drive in 80 to 100, that's a pretty good Major League Baseball player.
But they didn't talk about – they didn't in this conversation, they didn't say, hey, we need him to elevate the ball more. Hey, we need him to chase less. They said we need to see you focus more and put in the work to be a consistent player. Right now, he's consistently not good enough to be on a playoff contending team. And I think part of this reboot, as what they call it in Cardinal land, they gave him the runway. 1,000 at-bats is a big number of at-bats in the big leagues to show what you have. Now they see him working every day. Now they see him healthy for a long span. These are the things that they didn't say, hey, we need him to shorten his swing up, hit more homers, anything like that. It's the focus and how much effort and work he's putting in.
No, they just said he needs to. He didn't say he needs to focus. They said he needs to focus on preparation more. It says we do it more focus on preparation, not about focus. So
Gotcha.
What they want him to do is work on the things they've talked to him about more.
What do you think that means? Do you think that
that's what they're saying right here? I need to see Jordan have a sense of urgency for the things that need to take place. That goes with the move towards the ball. That's a mechanic thing. He needs to go this way to the ball, okay? And then his preparation in the cage, but also his approach in the game, meaning that's the preparation. What's your approach? The approach is a big thing in the big leagues. How do you attack the pitcher, okay? What do you look for? Some guys are great at it, some guys aren't. That's just the way it is. And you can focus, and it's hard. It's always hard for me to question anybody's focus because I don't know what they're doing. Unless you sit there and watch somebody 24 hours a day. I don't know what Scott focused on before the show today.
Same with urgency. So many of the modern players.
Well, Robinson Cano got bagged for this forever with the Yankees. Oh, he doesn't care because he doesn't, but he was just so good where he could just, woo.
Rendon. You would look at Anthony Rendon in his prime when he was sick, and you'd be like, is he there? He's just like, yeah, whatever. But most people said that's what made him amazing back then because there was zero pressure. Like the heartbeat was whatever, and it made him really good. He wasn't going to get highly pressurized.
I don't know.
That changed.
Listen, here's the thing. The Cardinals aren't happy with Jordan Walker.
Yeah.
They're making that clear, right?
Yes.
So then the next question goes to, do you trade him? Chaim Bloom, new regime coming in. And the problem is if you trade him and then he goes to another organization, they unlock him, then all the Cardinals fans are going to say, why the hell did you trade Jordan Walker?
They have PTSD.
Well, every organization has PTSD. That's why prospects are so hoarded. We don't want to trade this guy because if he turns into something forever, we're going to have to hear about this and that. Fernando Tatis Jr. and for James Shields. White Sox fans bring it up all the time. Well, when they traded Fernando Tatis Jr., he wasn't the player he is now. They didn't know that he was going to. I've talked to a lot of people. They didn't think he was going to be what he turned into.
So here's my thing with Walker. When it comes to the Cardinals giving him advice, right? And telling him this is what we want to see. He's either A, not listening, or B, not agreeing.
Or C, he's trying it, but it doesn't feel right, and he can't figure out how to make it work for him.
And
there's also a C there, Chris.
Yeah, but
it's not
all
black
of those,
and white. Like if I tell you to go hit a baseball off a big league pitcher, you can't do it.
Correct.
You can try your ass off. It ain't going to happen.
But he should be able to do that.
But some people can't make certain adjustments. Am I wrong, Kratz? Like there are certain people that just cannot feel adjustments, whatever it is. Some guys are like, okay, I can do this first swing. Some guys need to work on it for years to change the littlest, tiniest thing. And it's not that easy. It's not easy saying, hey, go hit the ball in the air because we want you to do this. Well, he's hit his whole life a certain way, and that's what he feels. To change somebody's feel is really hard for certain people.
And I'm going to make a generalization. He is what, 6'5", 6'6"?
Yes.
And he was in the big leagues at 20 years old. This is the first time he's ever struggled. It's how many times has a high school coach ever told him, hey, you need to make this adjustment? Well, why do I need to make this adjustment? I am annihilating the other kids that I'm playing against. I'm going in the first round. Minor leagues. His numbers, you said it, Scott, were ridiculous in the minor leagues. Like, it is hard to make an adjustment in general, let alone if it's the first time you're ever making an adjustment, and then add on top of that, it's the big leagues. It is a hard place to make adjustments. That's it. And so it can be frustrating. He's 23. A lot of guys never even made up to the big leagues at 23. And he has 1,000 at-bats already.
It's just that some guys never find it with their original org, and they need to go somewhere else for it to click
You know what
in.
would be good for him? And I'm going to get probably black. He needs to go to winter ball. Right, Kratz? Send him to winter ball this year.
There is no better place.
Send him to winter ball and say, I never went to winter ball, but I heard this from a lot of people. If you're struggling or whatever and you need to figure some stuff out, go get 150 at-bats in winter ball in Dominican or Puerto Rico or Venezuela or wherever they can get you a spot to play. And go figure it out. Because Kratz knows he played. They're tough on you. They're into the games. And it's not high pressure as the big leagues, but there's pressure on you. And if you want to make an adjustment in the game, that's the place to go do it.
And he never gets to take a break against, pitching that's not big league pitching these days. I mean, obviously he's been optioned, but face something else, try to get some confidence back. Yeah, most teams are scared about. Yeah, the pressure's there. Teams are scared about injuries and wearing them out and then being ready for the season. But
30 games going to wear him out.
He's 23.
He's an outfielder, too.
Yeah, I'm with you.
He's not pitching.
I'm with you.
He should do it on his own, not the organization saying, hey, you should go do this, because then it's just another thing. The organization wants me to do it their way. He should do it on his own.
I'm with you. Good talk.
I'm going to go play Arizona Fall League, I think, this year. I just decided.
I would love to see that. All right, let's get to Bill Plunkett, Orange County Register. We're going to talk about the Dodgers next on FD. We're back. One more Cardinals thing. Have you seen Yachty popping up at times?
I saw he's back.
Yeah, he's coming back again. I mean,
this is interesting to me. I mean, he's going to work with Jimmy Crooks, the latest catching prospect. But there's all this talk, Yachty and Albert for the next manager. Oli Marmol's the manager. I didn't know you could just bring in coaches anytime you wanted to. I want to coach.
The Angels do this. I think it was last year, the year before. They'll bring in like random former players to the dugout at the end of the year.
Oh, okay. I played for like 7 teams. Pick me, guys, for a weekend in the.
You want to do it? You want to be in the dugout for a weekend?
Dude, you know how fun it is to be sitting in the dugout with no cares? That'd be so fun.
But they want you to work.
Well, I mean, obviously I'd work with the guys, but still it'd be fun as hell just to sit there and be like,
Chop it up.
Ah,
Chop
yeah.
it up with the boys.
Ah. Get show showers again, Scott. Big deal.
Oof. Yes.
Yachty wants to manage at some point.
Yes.
This is just a little
I don't like that part of it.
intro.
I don't like that part of it. If Oli's your manager and you're bringing in the guy that is rumored to maybe take over this job, now if Oli likes it, great. But to me, it's going to be up to Chaim Bloom, no? Chaim Bloom's not just going to be like, hey guys, who wants to be the next manager? Like, he has to be the one to make the decision. I think Oli's cool with it. Oli was on the bench when Yachty was there, so he knows Yachty.
It's still. I mean, it's still a little bit.
I don't like it.
And listen, as much as I love Oli and I've been around Oli and I think he's a great guy and a good manager, there's still a little something that's like, this guy wants my job, right? Am I? Maybe I'm way off on this. I mean, I played with Yachty. I know Yachty, and I don't know that Yachty wants to be the Cardinals manager.
You think he wants to be another manager?
No, I'm saying I don't know what he wants to be. Nobody really knows. Yachty hasn't come out and say, I want to manage the Cardinals. Have you heard Yachty say that? No. So
could you imagine if he manages somewhere else? Not a chance. Not a chance he manages somewhere else.
Pirates.
Huh?
Yankees.
Pirates. So he can play the Cardinals all the time.
Cubs?
Well,
He manages Cubs on his kids' team. If I had to manage, if my kid played for the Cubs, I wouldn't be able to wear the hat. I'm sorry, or the jersey. I'd have to wear just a blue shirt.
Does Yachty wear the hat?
Yeah.
He does?
Yeah.
He wears a Cubs hat?
Yeah.
We have
Yeah,
proof?
it's been on Instagram and Twitter where his
Wow.
son plays for like a Cubs team.
All right, so maybe he's not going to manage the Cardinals. I feel like Oli doesn't care as much as you can not care about this, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like he's pretty comfortable in his own skin. He's like, I'm me.
He's done a
I'm
good
not
job.
Yachty. Yes.
He's done a good job.
Bill Plunkett covers the Dodgers for the Orange County Register and joins us right now on Foul Territory. Bill, great to have you on the show. Thank you for joining us. I like to do this anytime we bring someone on and a team is going through a mini rut. They've lost, 4 or 5. They had a tough series against Pittsburgh. Are the Dodgers okay?
It's not a mini rut. They're 22-29 since the 4th of July. And I think that's about 11th or 12th best in the National League during that time. It's not a mini rut. They've been fairly mediocre for a good 2-month stretch.
No
So
matter.
what's wrong, Bill?
Yeah.
It's mostly the offense. You don't like to point fingers, but it's mostly the offense. The starting pitching has been pretty good. In fact, it's probably their strength right now. The bullpen has been up and down, hasn't been great, but the offense has just thoroughly underperformed based on the names that they put out there every day. You could go down the lineup and really the only guys who are living up to the back of their baseball card are Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Shohei Ohtani, and even he is down from last year's ridiculous performance.
Does it change? Does it change without them getting Max Muncy back? Because I've always said Max Muncy's at bats really change how this lineup is approached by other teams. The at bats just are not the same. They don't put together a grinded at bat.
Absolutely right. The effect that Max has on the lineup is outsized. You can't explain it that easily. I actually asked him last week. I told him I was going to start calling it the Max Muncy effect, and I wanted him to explain it. And he said just what you said. He has the kind of at bats that wear out pitchers, that allow other guys in the lineup to be themselves. They don't have to try and be the guy who does that. Will Smith is the only other guy who sees a lot of pitches. So when you take Max out of there, we've seen a lot of 9-10 pitch 1-2-3 innings. It's no coincidence. Last year when he went out for 3 months with rib injury, They never really replaced him, and the offense dragged a little bit. This year, he's been out for all but 8 games since that early July, and it's not a coincidence that the offense has suffered.
But he's going to come back, and so that'll help the offense. So my question might be lazy, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Isn't this what the Dodgers wanted? Get yourself off to a nice start. Cruz, prepare for October. Someone's out. Someone needs a little blow. IL, take extra time. Let's just make sure our October roster is stacked and try and solve the ultimate problem in Major League Baseball in the 2000s, winning back-to-back championships.
Yeah, you're right. You've defined the arrogance that is the Los Angeles Dodgers. That is exactly how they operate. The regular season is not do or die. Other teams, when they play the Dodgers, it's the most important games on their calendar. That is not the case for the Dodgers. They don't match that intensity or urgency. The problem is, and I've been saying this since the trade deadline, I don't think they're as good as they think they are. They didn't make any big moves at the deadline because of what you're saying. They thought, we'll be fine. We'll be stacked when everybody comes back healthy. Well, maybe these guys come back healthy. Maybe they don't come back to the same level. A good example, Tanner Scott and Kirby Yates both came back from a short stint on the IL and haven't looked good. They didn't look great when they went on the IL. They don't look great now. And there's just too many guys having down years. I mean, Teoscar Hernandez is not the same hitter he was last year. Mookie Betts is having the worst season offensively of his career. The bottom of the lineup is pretty thin right now with Max Muncy out of there. So, yeah, they're going to make it to October. They're going to have pretty good roster when they get into October, and like we've seen for 25 to 26 years, it's a crapshoot once you get there.
All right, I have two questions for you. One, Will Smith is doing this again where he has an unbelievable first half and then he kind of falls off. Is it wear and tear on him? Is it just overused? I know, and it happens to a lot of catchers. Cal Raleigh's having it happen to him. I had it happen to me a lot. You just kind of get worn down mentally. But what can they do? Because they brought up rushing. They've tried to use him more, but it hasn't seemed to help that much with Will.
The drop-off isn't as bad this year as it has been the last couple. There were physical issues that played into it the last couple years. He had a rib injury one year. I think it was a concussion another year that kind of lingered for a little while. And he hurt his ankle on a slide. Just little things that you look back and you can kind of point to them. But you're right. They've done everything they can to keep the workload down, and it's still happening. I asked Dave Roberts about that the other day, and he said, no, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. There's a little mechanical issue that he's working on. Well, then the next day, he hit a pinch hit home run to win a game. He had a 3-hit game Tuesday here in Pittsburgh. And then last night, foul ball off his hand, won't be in the lineup for a couple of days. So, you played the position. It's hard. There's a lot of banging and wear and tear. And that's the problem with counting on a catcher to be a key offensive piece in your lineup. It just demands so much.
All right, this is probably a story that's about a week and a half old, but is there a chance that we see Mookie going back to right field?
No.
Zero chance.
Let's just stop. Just
Don't
stop.
Even talk.
No.
So then,
honestly,
is there a way? Is there a way that Teo can move to left and they upgrade somehow in right? Okay.
Yes, I can see that. Honestly, the best right fielder they have defensively right now is Andy Pages, and he's playing center field. So when Tommy Edman comes back from his injury, his ankle injury, and that'll probably be next week, they plan on playing Tommy in center field. Well, what does that mean for Andy Pages? Does he go to left field and bump Conforto out of the lineup? Or does he go to right field where he belongs, where his defensive skill set would be best? And Teo moves to left, where I think he does less damage defensively. He's not a good left fielder either, but he does less damage over there. Problem is, Teo isn't hitting very well, regardless of where you play him. But the outfield doesn't need Mookie Betts. They have other ways of doing this. Mookie is a good shortstop. I'm sorry, people don't seem to be getting this. You can look at the numbers and it reflects it. He's a good shortstop. Remarkable that he's made that adjustment, but he's not hitting. He's not hitting. And, does going to right field free up the offense a little bit? Then it'd be worth it. But the Dodgers don't believe that's the case. So he's not moving.
Not this year. He's not. That's for sure. You're right. He's not. He's not this year. Two things. One, you mentioned Conforto. Dodger fans are clamoring for Conforto to not be on this team. So, what? I mean, he's been a good player his whole career. What's going on this year with him?
Yeah, he has not been a good player this year. That's for sure. It's his numbers since his shoulder surgery a couple years ago have not quite rebounded. His at bats this year have just been terrible. He seems to step out of the dugout and be 0-2. They gave him plenty of time to find his way out of it. He tried some changes mechanically. He tried a different bat style. It's not working. He's even his little hot streaks have lasted 2-3 games. So it's a bust. They signed him for 1 year. They just got to cut their losses now, and maybe some of those other outfield configurations work. But boy, are you right about the fans. There are what we would call one-issue voters out there who want to blame him for everything.
True. All right, so I want to know, can the Dodgers turn it on and win the World Series? That's kind of what you said at the beginning. They just kind of float through the regular season and, oh, here it is, the postseason. Can they turn it on and win the World Series with the way the team is constructed? And when, obviously they're getting everybody back, but can they win the World Series with this team the way it's constructed?
Absolutely. I mean, is there a powerhouse out there in either league this year that you say, they're clearly the World Series favorite? I don't think there is. Ironically, after the way they had the teams they had in the playoffs the last 2 years, they've got great starting pitching this year, and that can carry you a little bit in the postseason. They also, when you get their attention, they're still a good team. You saw that with the Padres when the Padres closed on them and tied the division, took the lead. Dodgers swept the Padres at home. Yeah, that was the one time where they kind of got their attention, got some urgency. So if that's the team you get in October, absolutely they can win it again.
Do they need to get the bye? They're 2 games behind the Phillies right now. Phillies aren't playing the best baseball. Do they need the bye for a team that has battled injury, or like the team has just kind of sheltered guys and made sure that everybody's healthy to get back and not rush them back? Do they need those off days?
They want them. I don't know if they need them. The last few years when they had the five days off, they've had some trouble with how to handle it. Last year they managed, but 2 years before that they were out in the first round. I don't think a first round wild card is that bad a thing, because as it would play out, they would probably have it at home, and they're a very good team at home, so the danger of losing 2 out of 3 is less. But yeah, I think they would much rather have the 5 days off, line up their pitching for whoever, and take it from there.
But that is exactly my point. Yamamoto is not going to pitch on 5 days. To me, there's nobody that needs more time off than the Dodgers, because if Yamamoto throws, you might not see him until game 4 of the NLDS.
Yeah, the way it lines up, I think what you get is Blake Snell in the first game of a best of 5, and then Yamamoto in game 2, which sets him up for the game 1 start in the next round if you move on. I think the interesting thing is going to be how they use Ohtani as a pitcher in the postseason. The last couple times out, the way he's pitched, he's not exactly one of their four best. You got Snell, Yamamoto, Glasnow's pitched well since he came back, and Kershaw. Where does Ohtani fit in there? The other part of that is the two-way player rule. A lot of people are saying pitch Ohtani out of the bullpen. Well, if you do that, it's problematic because he has to finish the game as the pitcher, or you lose him as the DH. The other way you do it, if he starts, he can pitch for a while and then go to DH. So, do we see him piggybacking with somebody? Do we see? I've been throwing out this scenario for a while. Do we see Ohtani starting a game and Kershaw coming in the fourth inning or the fifth inning? And they kind of, that's a heck of a contrast in styles for the opposing team. So how they use Ohtani as a pitcher, I think, is going to be a fascinating part of the postseason.
Right now, September 4th, is Shohei Ohtani a better option to start than Clayton Kershaw?
I can't say he is. You got to show me some consistently good starts. He was terrific when he was going 2 or 3 innings. Since he's stretched out to 4 and 5, there's been more trouble. He's extending his pitch mix a little bit and doesn't have quite the same effectiveness. So, right now, I think there'd be a lot of examination of the matchups with whoever they draw. Let's put it this way. The Dodgers have a good history, a solid history of overthinking their pitching decisions in the postseason. I'm looking back at when they used an opener for Julio Urias, when they used Max Scherzer to close out a game in the NLDS in 21, and then he was useless in the NLCS. They just have a way of overthinking these things. And I think the Ohtani situation gives them ample opportunities to overthink things once again.
Hey, Bill, last one from us. Which team do you think is the biggest threat to take down the Dodgers?
Well, I think I would have said the Padres until this run of injuries that they've had. The Padres were clearly the best team they faced in the postseason last year, and the rivalry, the intensity of that matchup is terrific. It's something that the Dodgers don't always handle well, but their injuries have kind of taken the edge off of them. Philly sticks in my mind a little bit because the Dodgers just don't have a history of playing well in Philly for whatever reason. So if they have their pitching in order, if they can get a little bit healthy on that side, I could see the Dodgers and Philly being the showdown series in the postseason.
I love it. Sign me up for that one. I'm pumped for the playoffs. Bill, this was great. Thank you for catching us up on where the Dodgers are at right now. And you're right from the jump. It's been
anytime
more than
guys.
a mini rep.
Hey, I want to see AJ in the Arizona Fall League. I'm looking forward to that.
Right? No, you know what? I found the perfect thing for me. Banana Ball All-Stars play against a college team. I mean, how can I not be on that game?
You're a natural.
You were an all-star on the Banana Ball.
What do you mean? I wasn't an all-star? I was an all-star and I played Banana Ball. Doesn't that make me an all-star Banana Ball?
I thought you were a Banana Ball all-star. Like you had to play good for the Banana Ballers.
Oh, I caught great. No one stole. No run scored. I caught great.
Heater. Thank you, Bill. Appreciate you.
You got it, guys.
Have a good one. Follow Bill at Bill Plunkett OCR on Twitter, and you can see his articles posted on there as well. Mason Miller, immaculate inning.
Mm-hmm. All sliders.
All sliders. The dude that throws 103.
That's the game today.
That is the game today.
Who did we have on the other day that said that? Somebody, was it Matt? No, it wasn't Maddox. It was somebody at the golf course, at the pro. He was like, It's amazing to me. These dudes throw 100 miles an hour and they go slider, 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 slider.
Millar. It's probably Millar.
It's probably Millar.
It worked. It worked.
Worked. Are you waiting for a fastball and it just never?
Well, that's the Tommy Kahnle theory, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean Mason Miller they also lost the game, which they got swept by the Orioles. That was bad.
That was bad. Orioles are playing ball though.
Orioles are playing all
The
right.
Orioles looked good.
Yeah.
I want to give them a little credit too. Like, to me, this is where schedule matters. Strength of schedule says that you're playing a bad team. To me, that's not a bad team right now.
Well, the other thing is they have a lot of guys that have things to play for. So even though you look at their record, it's 64-76, and you say there's a lot of guys on this team that have stuff to play for. Jackson Holiday, Mountcastle, Dylan Carlson, Colin Cowser, Kobe Mayo. These guys are legit playing for jobs in the future.
But my thing is, you look at the Orioles and the Nats, right, in a similar area of the country. Oh my gosh, who would you rather play right now with 3 games to save your season?
That, but
it's not even close. But the records are not that far away. That's my point.
Well, by the way, what Nestor Cortez? I mean, last time I saw him pitch not long ago. He went 6 shutty, 1 hit against the Dodgers. And
I wonder if there's
gives
something.
up 6 in the first 2 innings.
I wonder if there's something with that. That'd be a question for Nestor. Like, he was dominant, he was locked in, and then it just wasn't there. It wasn't there yesterday. I mean, they were teeing off. There were some hard hit baseballs yesterday.
If only he would come on the show. I mean, he's one of the few guys that I think would be good on this show that has not appeared on this show. So I'm calling him out.
My ex-teammate.
Yeah, I'm calling him out. He's a pretty good interview, but I just think
He's the
some
best.
therapy would be helpful. He should appear on FT. How has he not been on the show? Seriously.
That's
I don't do that often, but
It's my fault. My fault. Him and Michael King.
One time.
I should have them on. They're my rail rider buddies, and it's on me. I did not develop that relationship good enough. It's my fault. Bad teammate.
We are getting to a point where there are not many guys that have, big personalities and haven't been on this show.
They're both awesome dudes too.
Yep, I've heard. Power Rankings is powered by Arena Club.
Oh, gosh.
What do we have for September? AJ Pierzynski. Wow, is that your power rankings?
Well, I have to write them down because I have to send them to producer lady.
On paper. Lay them out. Give it to us.
Okay. Well, I'm going Dodgers 1 just because I've had Dodgers 1 all year and nothing's changed. They're starting to get healthy. So they're still 1 for me. They're number 1 in my heart, Dodgers. Then Brewers, make Kratz happy with Brewers, Phillies. Phillies probably be maybe 2 if Wheeler wasn't hurt, but he's hurt, so that hurt.
But above the Brewers.
Yeah, I just think they're built for October with their power and what they have. Listen, these are my power rankings, not yours. Okay, Scott, shut up.
Mm-hmm.
No, I'm
then
the follow-up question guy.
Because they have the best record in the American League. I love the Blue Jays pitching, the way they're swinging it. Then we get to the Cubs. Astros are 7 just because they're leading the division. Yankees and Red Sox are tied because that's what they deserve. And then the Mets are 10, and then there's 2 playoff teams that aren't in there. Can you name them, Scott, that are in the playoffs right now?
The Mariners.
Mm-hmm.
And the Padres.
Yep. Padres are banged up to all hell, and the Mariners can't win a game east of Spokane. So, I mean, yeah, it's going to be tough.
You can't separate the Yankees and the Red Sox
No,
for us?
because they're tied.
You couldn't give us an 8-9?
I did. They're tied.
How's the season series going?
I don't know, but they're tied right now.
The Red Sox are beating the crap out of them in the season
These
series.
are your power rankings, Scott. These
But you
are
broke the
power
rules.
rankings.
You broke the rules.
Why did I break
Yes,
the
you
rules?
did.
I
You
said
break
I
the
was supposed
rules.
to give 10 teams. I gave 10 teams.
1 through 10.
Then
I
1
don't
through
see a
10.
9. I don't see a 9.
There's
want
10
a
teams
9.
on there, Scott.
Okay, but just give me an 8-9.
Okay, fine. 10 is the White Sox.
No, 8-9.
Boom.
Who's 8-9? Which one? Yankees or
Yankees
Red
and
Sox?
Red Sox are tied.
Which one?
They're tied.
Come on. You can't
They're
give me
tied.
an 8-9?
They're tied.
That is. I didn't see what Scott was talking about, but now I see it says tied for 8th. AJ just wants to do the Fox premier game later this month, Yankees Red Sox. So he doesn't want to
Doesn't want to ruffle feathers.
No, I've done that game. I did one that went like 15 innings. It took 5 hours. It was like 1
That's
to
a
1. It was
normal
awful. In
Yankee
Fenway.
Red
It's
Sox.
awful. I think I fell asleep 3 times in that game.
All right. Well, the Red Sox have the season series, so we'll give it to them for now.
You can't change my power
You
ranking.
have you.
Give me
you
your
broke
power
the
ranking,
rules.
Scott.
You broke the rules.
You break the rules all the time.
No, I don't. I always go
No.
1 through 10. Kratz, did you go 1 through 10?
I did, but producer lady asked me. It was weird. She asked me because I accidentally put 11 down. I thought I had 10. She goes, "Is somebody tied? Is somebody tied in your list?" I was like, "No, why?" And I had put so I said, "Beat it. Drop the Cubs out of there." So that's what's going to get me some visceral
You don't have the Cubs
hate.
in the top 10?
I don't.
Oh, I know. Go then. Go. 'cause
Everyone watching on Marquee
you
right
thought
now.
my list was bad.
There's people watching
No
on
Marquee
Marquee
that
right
just
now
are
that are like,
yeah.
oh my God.
How are they not in the top 10?
All right, go ahead, Kratz. You're
Because I
up.
have 10 other teams that are better. So I'm going Phillies, Dodgers, Brewers, Tigers, Padres, Blue Jays. Blue Jays are number 6, and they're the second American League team that I have in there. Astros, Mets, Yankees, Red Sox. The Yankees are ahead of the Red Sox. And I changed it because Roman Anthony, I think, is a huge part. That's how close they are. I would agree. But there's something for each team. Like, I can't sit here and go, okay, the Padres bullpen. And I guess I was kind of more thinking playoff team. The Padres bullpen in the playoffs is going to be a problem. To me, it's going to be such a problem that I think out of all these teams, that bullpen in the playoffs might be the biggest superpower of any of these teams. Because the Dodgers have issues with their lineups. The Phillies can be pitched to. The Brewers don't hit enough dingers. The Tigers, unless Tarek Skubal is good enough, maybe he doesn't, maybe they don't even make it out of the first round. Like, to me, that Padres bullpen is a superpower that all these other teams don't have that kind of superpower, in my opinion.
That's a great call. Seriously, it's a great call. I think the Padres are receiving too much hate right now because of what's happening through the rest of the regular
They lost
season
one of their
here.
big guys. They lost Jason Adam.
Agreed. That's
They
why
don't have
I
a
knocked him down.
Guys.
They don't have a shortstop.
They have 9 shortstops. They all played shortstop
That's true.
in the
Good
big league.
comeback.
Is it going to be tough? You can't just replace a big league shortstop. I get that.
But you have the Phillies number 1 without Wheeler. The way Aaron Nola pitched last night, they're still number 1?
I didn't even have – I made my list before yesterday, but I honestly didn't even have Aaron Nola pitching in the playoffs for him. I know it's crazy to have 3 lefties, but what did we just talk about? That left-handed pitchers they're having a better season against righties all throughout the league. They have 3 left-handed pitchers. Aaron Nola might get a start in game 4, in my opinion. I know they want to split up the lefties. You can't go 3 straight lefties. But to me, he hasn't proven that he is in the playoff rotation yet. He has a history of it. He has a history of being really good in the playoffs for him. This year, to me, it doesn't look like it. And I get it. No Nola, no Wheeler. I think those other 3 guys, though, you can match up against any other 3 guys that are going to be the top 3 pitchers in the playoffs. And I think you go Luzardo game 2, because right now he shows he can give you 4 innings. The 5th inning is his kryptonite. And game 2, you got an off day the next day, most likely, and then you just drain the bullpen.
Ready for mine?
No. We're skipping yours.
Kratz, I went 1 through 10. I followed the rules.
Neato, gang.
If I did 2 8s, you would talk about it for the
that's
rest
10
of
teams.
my
I was
life.
told 10 teams.
No.
10 teams.
Wait. True
Give
or false?
give us
He
your
always-
rankings, Scott.
He always finds something, and then he'll bring it up forever.
Give us your rankings.
Okay. Brewers 1.
Okay.
Best record.
I see that.
Fair, right?
You
They're
believe
still in
in
a
them in
good
the
spot for
postseason.
me. I think that they have a better chance this year in the playoffs than they have in the past.
Okay, go ahead.
Dodgers 2 for me,
Okay, fair.
based on talent, track record, still who's coming
I'm already
back for
laughing
them.
right now.
What, you don't like the Mets?
3rd?
Why?
All you talk about is how bad they are, and their rotation stinks.
They have a whole new rotation.
Oh,
They got a makeover In September.
Okay, continue.
Glam up in September.
The Mets better than the Phillies, and you are records and this and that. The Phillies are way ahead of the Mets.
I don't give a crap.
But then you said the Yankees, Red Sox, or the Red Sox.
Right now, if I match those two teams up, I like the Mets better than the Phillies.
Okay.
For me, I like the Mets lineup better in the
postseason. The Phillies
postseason.
can't win in Citi Field.
I think they cannot win in Citi Field. I think the Mets can grab a game in Philly. And I think the starting rotation is going to make all the difference for this team now because the kids are balling. The kids are bopping. And the Phillies are right there. They're right next to them. I couldn't put a tie for third because that's not allowed. So I put Mets, then Phillies. This is big for me. Usually I do top 6 teams from the National League, all in the top 6 on my power rankings. But I am buying what the Blue Jays are selling. Yes, I have the Blue Jays over the Tigers.
Okay.
I think the Blue
Even
Jays
with
have
their bullpen issues.
I think half of their starting rotation is going to end up in the bullpen.
Half of 5 is 2.5.
They have 6 starters.
Which half guy goes into the bullpen?
Well, you tell me. Let's go through. They have 6 starters.
Well, one of them's already in the bullpen. They have 5.
Right. So that's Erik Lauer. He goes to the bullpen. Who's starting game 1 for you? I think some of it depends on who they're going up against, right? But you can make a case for 5 starters. I think Shane Bieber is definitely going to start a playoff game for you.
Okay, so what half of guy goes to the bullpen?
I think Gausman will start. I think Bieber will start. I think Scherzer will probably start. And then maybe Bassett's a guy who's done it before who can come out of the bullpen. And Barrios in a best of 7 series is one of your 4 starters. In a shorter series, maybe he comes out of the bullpen too. Depends who's good in a starting role and who am I worried about coming out of the bullpen. But anyway, the point is that I think there's enough depth there. I like the lineup. I think there's enough pop to win in the playoffs, and there's a ton of contact. I like the Blue Jays. So I'm popping them up in the 5 spot. Then I've got the Cubs 6. The Padres 7 just because of what they're going through right now. But I'm like Kratz. I think knocking them too much.
You got to score some runs at some point.
Agreed. Got to score runs.
That's the problem.
I'm worried about the power. It's a team that's bottom 3 or 5 in power this year. Mm-hmm. And the Jason Adam injury is big, right? It's a scary bullpen, but it's a little less scary now because it's 4 instead of 5. Tigers 8, Astros 9, Red Sox 10. We know essentially who the playoff teams are already, so you have to leave 2 playoff teams out. Right now, the Mariners are looking messy, but again, I think they could be dangerous in the playoffs too if the starting pitching finds it in the, I've been on that train for a while, and they're letting everyone down right now. And then the Yankees for me, because I can separate the Yankees and the Red Sox at 10 and 11.
Thank you. Red Sox. Would that have been different if Roman Anthony was still in there?
No, I have the Red Sox. The Red Sox are 10.
No Yankees.
No Yankees.
I'm sorry.
The Red Sox are better than the Yankees right now.
Because of the bullpen?
Because the bullpen, yes, the Red Sox bullpen is better than the Yankees. When you match those 2 teams up against each other, the Red Sox are a good matchup, or the Red Sox like facing the Yankees this year. I think that's fair. So if I'm putting those 2 teams against each other for the 10 spot, I take Red Sox. Astros, for me, get back in the mix with Jordan. Jordan's insane, which is going to lead us to the next segment because we're going to get to Chandler Rome in a minute. But let's let everyone know about Arena Club, where you can buy, sell, trade, open slab packs, and you can rank your cards. And if you want to rank them all 8, you can. But you can also get 20% off your first slab pack or card purchase at arenaclub.com/foul. That's arenaclub.com/FOUL. Each week, AJ rips open a new slab pack, and we show you those ads during FT. So wait till you see next week. We'll be right back with Chandler Rome to talk about the Astros, number 9 in my power rankings, 7 in Erik, and 7 in AJ. This is kind of random, but I wanted to bring this up since I scoured the YouTube comments. We had a comment from Paul, who has been following all of our expansion and realignment content. And he asked if MLB should be careful about putting another team in elevation like Salt Lake City. He, like me, thinks that they're a lock. I think they're a lock. They're getting a team. It's a done deal. They just play the game. You get the expansion fee up, blah, blah, blah. But you played there. Do you think it would be a problem like it is in Colorado? I mean, he said you wreck careers in Colorado too, for pitchers especially. Do you think that it would be a problem to have a major league team there, just from the environment standpoint? Everything else is a layup.
I don't know
for
how
them.
high Salt Lake City is.
High.
How high? Well, how high, Scott?
I'll find
How
out.
high?
Because I got
How
high.
high are you, Scott, with your
Because
power
I got
rankings?
high.
How high is?
I love playing in Salt Lake City, so I mean, I'd be all for it. I mean, what is it?
4,200 feet.
How many?
4,200 feet.
How high is in Atlanta? Super high too, and people don't know about it.
No,
Denver's
like
about
1,500
1,000 feet higher. Yeah, Atlanta's still way lower.
Okay.
So those two would be in another category. That's the
Okay.
question.
I mean, I played in Salt Lake. It was a great place to hit. Sure. But so was the whole Pacific Coast League. Colorado Springs and Albuquerque and all these places were a great place to hit. So would it be a problem? No, but it might be more than one team have to find a solution to the problem. Let's try that.
That's true.
Baseball.
Maybe they figure it out.
Might
Yeah.
help it.
If you're not afraid, you can figure anything out.
Except Scott's power ranking.
All right, keep us all on here as we bring in Chandler Rome from The Athletic and, of course, one of the stars of Crush City territory. Chandler, great to talk to you. Wait,
Does he have a TV on?
Yeah,
Chandler, what are you
I'm
watching?
hearing some feedback. I want to have a good, clean interview here.
I don't own a television, so it can't be my TV.
You know how and the radio callers sometimes will be like, hey, turn down your
They can hear themselves.
radio
They can hear
dial.
themselves. Yeah.
Well, I'm going to wait for my production team to tell me this is okay. Are we sounding
It's good now.
Oh, it's gone.
Yeah.
Okay.
Chandler finally muted himself.
We're good. All right. So, Chandler, let's start with a question from Erik. Kratz, ask the question to Chandler, who's in the clubhouse every day for the Astros, the question that you have about pitch comm devices being used by other teammates.
Was it ever asked of Pena or Altuve or the center fielder, who also have a pitch comm device, what pitch was called in the infamous Framber Valdez Cesar Salazar incident?
It was not, and maybe that's a dereliction of duty on our part. To be completely honest with you, I don't know who specifically on the field wears pitch comm devices for the Astros. I know at one point Pena was. I know at one point they had the third baseman wearing it, depending on who it was. Altuve, I think Altuve DH'd that game, so he wouldn't have been in the field with it on. But no, that was not asked of the guys. It's a good thought, and it's something we probably should have thought of. But, I mean, to kind of peel the curtain back a little bit, I mean, we walked in that clubhouse, and the first thing we saw was, Framber and Cesar Salazar having a discussion at Salazar's locker, and then bench coach Omar Lopez came in and escorted both of them into the manager's office. So we were a little bit preoccupied, just kind of, watching that unfold and to kind of see what was going on next, to maybe think that far ahead. And to be honest with you, Erik, we didn't know what their stories were going to be coming out. So when we walked in, we really couldn't have the wherewithal to think, all right, let's go hear what was called and what wasn't called, because we didn't get all those details until Framber and Cesar Salazar spoke to us afterward. And by that point, the clubhouse had pretty much cleared out, and the players, no real players there to talk to anymore.
I have the book too, by the way. I'm just saying. I have the same book.
Nice. Jeff Fletcher. Shout out Fletch.
Yeah, we have the same book. I just wanted to throw that out there. I have a lot of books here that Scott won't let me read, but that's a different story. Nice. Chandler, Correa had a pitch comm. I mean, there's no way Correa doesn't play shortstop without knowing what's coming. He likes to be in control of almost everything. So, you know that he had the pitch comm. The thing for me is, you mentioned when you walked in there that they were talking, but there's now reports coming out that the players on the Astros weren't happy, and they made Framber go over and talk to him. Has anyone figured out the chain of events there? And then they went in Joe Espada's office, and then they all came out with kind of the same story. Oh, I would never do that, blah, 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 whatever, Framber. And his agents got doing the PR tour saying this is ridiculous. But has anyone ever – is that true, first of all, that the players on the Astros went to Framber and said, hey, you need to apologize and you need to act better towards Salazar? And then do we know what Joe Espada said to him other than what he said in his press conference yesterday?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pretend like I was in the room and I know exactly what happened. I can say that there were some frustrations. There were some frustrations in there. I don't know to what level it rose. I don't know the chain of command of who apologized when. Was there a forced apology? Like, I don't know. So I don't want to speak out of turn. All I can know is Framber Valdez told us after the game that he apologized to Cesar Salazar both in the dugout after the 5th inning and after the game. That is what he told us. We asked Cesar Salazar if he felt an apology was required, and he kind of said no, he didn't, and just kind of reiterated how good of a relationship that he's built with Framber and how well they work together. I wasn't in there, so I'm not going to try to put words in people's mouth or figure out what was and what didn't happen. There was some frustration. Don't get me wrong. I do know that, but I can't give you a blow-by-blow of who apologized when. Was it a forced apology? Was it made? All I can tell you is what the people told us on the record. And Framber Valdez told us that he apologized twice to Cesar Salazar on Tuesday.
The dynamic of that clubhouse. Who would be the guy, if you were to guess, because Correa just got back, I know he has a lot of clout there, who would be the guy that would get up in Framber's face or maybe make sure we hey, we're addressing this. This isn't going to just get swept under the rug. I feel like it kind of has been.
I mean, we've got video evidence of Carlos Correa getting in Framber Valdez's face in the 2020 ALCS at Petco Park in Tampa. So, Framber and Correa do have history, even though Correa just got back here a month ago. Correa is probably that guy, the guy that's going to be the one to take hold here. Don't discount Jose Altuve either. I know he's a quiet guy. I know he's a guy that usually doesn't love the spotlight, doesn't love being the focus of things, but he's a leader in there, and he'll speak up when he has to. He probably will never do it publicly. He'll never do it when the cameras are on, and he'll never tell anyone that he did that, but he is capable of doing that. So it'd be those two guys. And then, Joe Espada had a playbook for this, and he had to use this playbook a couple of months ago when Framber Valdez openly questioned the Astros' defensive positioning after his start against the Nationals. Framber made his comments that night, and then they kind of set off a firestorm. We talked to Framber that night after we talked to Joe Espada, so we didn't have a chance to ask Joe Espada about it. The next day, Joe Espada opened his pregame news conference with a statement similar to the one he said yesterday, similar to the one he gave yesterday, and then basically said, this is it. I'm not taking any more questions. I'm not talking about it anymore. Yesterday, he was asked a couple of follow-up questions, and I mean, he gave answers, but didn't really answer the question. Like, he responded to them, but the answers were not, he didn't, divulge anything else. So they were clearly on that playbook of, let's address it once pregame on Wednesday, and then, as Joe Espada said, put it behind us. And they seem to do that. They went out and beat the Yankees 8-7. And like I said on Crush City Territory this morning, the thing I love about baseball is that the news cycle just constantly moves, right? Like, this isn't football where you have to wait 6 days for another game. This isn't basketball where there could be a day or two between games and the news cycle can drag on. Like, the quickest way to put it behind you is go out and play the next day. Go out and play, go out and win. And the Astros took a good step toward that on Wednesday, kind of distancing themselves from all this, from this hoopla.
Chandler, do you think this is something that lingers around? I know you're saying they're trying to distance themselves from it. Is it pretty obvious to say that Salazar won't catch Framber next time he pitches? And then also, is this something that in the clubhouse and going forward with the Astros, I'm not even talking about maybe this year, but when he's a free agent, that the Astros look at and say, because this isn't, listen, as good of a pitcher as Framber Valdez is, this isn't his first thing where people have said, what the heck is he doing? And he's kind of done some stuff, right? So do you think going forward, this is something the Astros look at in free agency and say, maybe we'd rather have somebody else here, even though they know Framber very well?
Well, the Astros probably aren't bringing Framber Valdez back, but it's not because of anything you just said. It's because they're not going to give him the sort of contract that his market value says he's worth and that he will command on the free agent market. He's a year older than Max Fried, but has very similar career numbers, if not better in some regards, to Max Fried. So you look at 8 for 218 that Max Fried got. I'm not saying Framber Valdez is going to get that exact deal, but that will be the framework that, perhaps is a starting point. And the Astros have never guaranteed a player more than $151 million, much less a pitcher. Jim Crane, the one thing in his ownership tenure, he has not given massive deals to starting pitchers. Lance McCullers got a 5-year, $85 million extension before he went to free agency. Josh Hader got a $95 million deal as a closer. $95 million is the most they've ever guaranteed to a pitcher in Jim Crane's ownership tenure. So the Astros probably aren't bringing Valdez back, but that's more of a money thing. That's more of like that. He is going to want a contract that they just don't give. As far as what it's going to do for the next month and a half, Victor Caratini is back off of the IL, off the concussion IL. So the Astros have 3 catchers on their roster right now. I don't know who's going to catch Framber in his next start. I'd be surprised if it was Cesar Salazar for no other reason than, I think Victor Caratini and Yadier Diaz are better options to catch just from an offensive upside. This is a team that needs to score runs. This is a team that is looking to upgrade its offense in any way possible. Those 2 guys are just better offensively. You have to remember the reason Cesar Salazar caught Framber Valdez on Tuesday was because Victor Caratini was still on the concussion IL and they needed Yadier Diaz to DH because, if I'm remembering the days right, I think Yordan Alvarez was off. So whatever. Salazar caught Valdez because they were in a little bit of a pinch, just roster-wise. They're not in that anymore. So I'd imagine one of Caratini or Diaz catches Valdez in his next start. And then with Framber specifically, and I've reiterated this on Crush City territory, they know how to handle him. Like, this isn't a new guy that's come in and is just been like this. Like, they've had Framber around for going on 7 years now. Like, they have seen him evolve. They know how to get the most out of him. Sometimes things like this happen. They've had instances like this where some stuff has occurred and they've been able to manage it. They've been able to handle it. I don't think it's going to be that as big of a deal maybe as most think, just because they're so experienced with this. Like, they kind of know how he is. They know what makes him tick. They understand kind of how to handle him in the clubhouse. So I think they'll be able to be fine with it for the next month and a half. But as far as the future goes, like, I never thought Framber Valdez was coming back to Houston when the season began. And nothing that happened Tuesday night changes my thought on that. And it has nothing to do with the cross up or the fail to step off.
Chandler, I'm going to take us to the lineup. How much better does it look with Yordan Alvarez back and looking mostly like himself? And then I saw you writing about Isaac Paredes. So is there a chance?
Let's start with Isaac Paredes. I don't think anyone knows if there's a chance. He got cleared to start baseball activities on Wednesday, yesterday. If you watched him at Dyken Park while he was taking ground balls and while he was running, he is nowhere near full speed. Not that I expected him to be full speed, but this was very light baseball activities. Like, I'm talking, he fielded 5 grounders that didn't really require him going side to side. He did some running in the outfield that he said was about 50%. He is not close to coming back. But they are going to send him to West Palm Beach this week to continue his rehab. He'll be down there. Isaac said that he's still not sure if he's going to play this season. He's going to try his best, but it's still very much up in the air. I think the bigger question is, if everything goes well, and let's say he is available for a potential playoff spot on a roster, like, he's obviously going to have to DH a little bit. He's going to have to probably DH primarily, because I don't know by that time if he'll be in good enough shape to play a 9-inning game defensively. I also don't know where he would play defensively, considering, Carlos Correa is on the team and now plays third base. They're rotating Ramon Urias and Mauricio Dubon and Jose Altuve at second. They could play Paredes at second and, have left field for either Yordan or Altuve. But if he comes back in a DH role, that would force both Alvarez and Altuve to play defense every day. Whether the Astros would be okay with that trade-off, this is a team that misses Paredes' plate discipline. They miss how many pitches he sees. Like, he would be a massive addition to this lineup. So I think they'd take the trade-off. But again, this is really far off. Like, I think it is still very much up in the air if Paredes, plays again this season, but it's still a good sign to see him doing baseball activities after he faced the possibility of undergoing surgery that would have sidelined him for 6 months. So that's a win in and of itself that he's back to do at baseball activities. And then Yordan, I mean, it changes the complete dynamic of the lineup. And we said this, and we kind of Joe Espada had reiterated this before Yordan came back. Even if he came back at, less than full Yordan, even if he came back at a little bit less efficacy, just his presence and just the fear he strikes in opponents is going to change how opposing managers and opposing pitchers navigate them. His first series back against the Rockies, I think he walked 5 times, and the Rockies, they weren't even trying to hide it. They were pitching around him, and he hadn't played a major league game. He had missed 100 games, and they were pitching around him, and you could already tell it was a different sort of presence. Now, last night would lead me to believe that he's all the way back. He hit 5 balls last night, all 103.5 or harder off the bat, was spraying the ball to all fields. Josh Reddick was marveling earlier this morning about him, going with a Luke Weaver changeup into left field for a game-tying single to the other way. He pulled the ball. He went up the middle. He is, when he's on, he's a top 5 hitter in baseball. And, adding that can only help this lineup that, has had its struggles with runners in scoring position, that has not been able to have the run production we think it could have. But adding Alvarez in there just changes the calculus entirely.
He's one of the guys the only chance the league has against him is if he gets called up to the next league, which I don't think they've created that yet, but he's one of those guys. Last question. We haven't hit on this bullpen. And I'm not saying this because Abreu actually had a blip last night. He's ridiculous. Does this bullpen have enough length? Does it have enough just inning-to-inning skill to succeed in the playoffs?
I think it could, and I also think you're going to see starters go into the bullpen in the playoffs, just like we see, every year. So I think that the complexion of this bullpen could look a lot different in the playoffs. One thing we didn't hit on is that Spencer Arrighetti went on the IL yesterday with elbow inflammation. That would have been maybe my pick as the guy that would have translated best to the bullpen in a playoff scenario. I'm not sure they want to risk that with Javier and Garcia, 2 guys that have just come off long arm surgery recoveries. I'm not sure they want to risk putting them in the bullpen that quick. Arrighetti only, broke his thumb. That's why he missed so much time. So to me, he profiled as the guy that would have been the obvious kind of swingman guy that could give you some length, or guy that the stuff could play up out of the bullpen. Without him, it's going to be a little bit more difficult, but I think they've got some good pieces. Brian King is a guy that, as a left-handed pitcher, has been dominant against right-handed batters, so they can use him kind of regardless of platoon splits. They've got Aniel De Los Santos, who's been very good for them since they, got him from the Braves. Caleb Ort has pitched some leverage innings and succeeded, pitched very well last night. And then they have all the confidence in the world in Brian Abreu. I know the blip last night wasn't great, the homer to Bellinger, but he is, by most statistical measures, he's been as good, if not better, in some categories than Josh Hader this year. So when they give him the ball in the 9th inning, they're not worried. I think it's just the bridge to get to Abreu. I think that's going to be a little bit interesting, and I think it's going to test Joe Espada's kind of managerial, kind of how he's going to match guys up, how quickly he goes to his bullpen, or quite frankly, how long he sticks with his starters, because maybe his starters can give him, maybe he's got a little more confidence in the upside of the starters than he would going to the bullpen in maybe the 4th or the 5th inning.
Chandler, great insight as always. Much more of this on Crush City Territory, which has a merch shop now too. Go check it out. Crush City Territory, part of the FT Network, Pods, YouTube channel, Chandler, Tyler Stafford, and Josh Reddick, part of the mix. Thanks, Chandler. Appreciate you.
Thanks, guys.
All right, FT fam, be right back. We'll go over the Blue Jays and the Mariners. Pre-game of the day on the BetMGM app for any BetMGM customers logged in with funded accounts. Yes, we know we didn't do well yesterday, but the day before, we all won.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how it works. But the game of the day, Angels,
kidding when you
Royals. I'm not kidding. Angels,
kidding.
Royals. Do you know that the Tampa Bay Rays have won 6 games in a row, and they have the same record as the Kansas City Royals? And the Rays are only 2.5 games away from a playoff spot.
Oh, they let you know if you watch the Rays.
Oh, my gosh.
It was like every inning.
It's not insurmountable.
No, it's not.
Like, the Mariners are at 73 and 67. The Rangers have lost 2 in a row. Otherwise, they would be there right now with the Mariners.
Yeah, I'm aware.
The Royals lost 3 in a row. They can't beat the Angels right now. Otherwise, they'd be there in a playoff spot. Now the Rays are back in the mix, and Cleveland's 3 games out. But the American League wild card's getting a little interesting.
Give it 4 days. Talk to me Monday.
Fine. I will. Who wants to go first today?
I'll go first.
Okay, good.
Go ahead, Kratz.
Freddie Peralta. Over strikeouts. 6.5. He needs 7 punchies, and it's paying plus 115.
Against your Phillies?
Against the Phillies. Last 3 times he's faced them, he's gone 9 punchies, 10 punchies, 6 punchies. And it's essentially the same lineup. There's a lot of punch outs for Freddie, and he's been racking them up recently. Against teams that strike out, he wants to get his 7 to close out that series win. Who, the Brewers, have only lost once to the Phillies all year. They're 4-1 now.
Wow. I think we'll get to you and to me when we come back.
Okay.
How about that? Because we'll have time. No Pap today.
Okay, Scott. Whatever you say, buddy. Mr.
I mean,
Betts,
if you
number
want
3
to,
in the power rankings.
With 10 seconds to spare. But I asked everybody to pick their favorite power rankings answers
And
too.
you didn't win.
Well, our buddy I Need Money said whoever picked the Padres the highest.
He's a Padre fan.
That's true.
I got you. I need money. Whoop, whoop.
Then box scores. 2 teams that we want to go over. Would you like to start with the Jays or the Mariners? Which game?
Well, let's start with the Mariners because I want to end on a positive note.
Okay. So what did you think of a pitcher who has as much control as any in baseball?
And the drills data, we already talked about it.
Drilling Josh Lowe, and then Adrian Hauser dotting Dominic Canzone.
No problem with it. Good for you, Adrian Hauser.
Okay.
No problem. That's how things used to be handled. You hit my guy, I hit your guy, and we move on.
What did you think about the Mariners going 10-1 after the trade deadline and 6-14 since? And
they can't win east of Spokane, I told you.
The articles talking about how many Mariners players have been durable this year and logged many games, and that people are saying they look out of gas.
Okay. Why? Because you want to know when you look out of gas? When you're losing. And you're not scoring runs. You look out of gas. If they were scoring 10 runs a game and flying around and winning, they'd be like, man, this team never gets tired. No, they're not hitting. When you don't hit, you look like you have no energy.
Well, Kratz, was this a mirage because Cal Raleigh was putting together the best offensive season ever for a catcher? Still is overall, but he hasn't been the Cal Raleigh of the first half. He's been really good, but he's not first half good. So were they over-reliant on Cal Raleigh, and now that he's come back down to earth a bit, it's a problem?
I mean, over-reliant? I don't know. I mean, you have an MVP on your team. I always hate when people are like, oh, all the Yankees are is Aaron Judge. Like, there's some other dudes that have had good seasons, but when you're an MVP candidate, yeah, your team's going to be relying on them. But were they over-reliant? Maybe. And maybe they believe that. That's why this is the year that they went out and they got Josh Naylor. They got Eugenio Suarez. So in other years, if this is what Cal Raleigh was doing and they were like, oh, we're only relying on him, yeah, they'd be cooked. But this is why I don't think they're cooked. To me, I think the blip on the radar with their starting pitching is crazy to me because I thought this starting pitching was elite level, and they're showing they're more mortal.
Well, they were elite level for 2+ years.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Castillo's down, Kirby's down, Gilbert's down. Woo's
Miller.
been one.
Miller hasn't been the same overall this year either.
Oh, the 4 of the 5 are down. Woo's been good.
Yeah, Woo's the guy.
But the rest have not been good. The bullpen hasn't been as tight as it has been. I don't know. It's going to be do I think they should make the playoffs? Yes. But will they? Phew. I mean, they're leaking oil.
Bottom of their lineup's not doing anything lately either.
I mean, they are leaking oil.
So you had the 2 trade acquisitions that aren't having a good couple of weeks, Naylor and Suarez. Bottom of the lineup doing nothing lately, Canzone, Crawford, Cole Young. So it's Randy, Cal, J-Rod, and Polanco. But that's only 4.
I mean, see. We'll see. It's going to be fast. It's going to be interesting. They're 2 games up on the Rangers and Royals and Rays, really.
Mm-hmm.
In a loss. Everyone looks at the halves. It's about look
loss
at the loss column. It's all about the loss column.
Mm-hmm. And then just quick minute here on the Blue Jays. I thought it was the second best game of the day yesterday.
This is the nail in the coffin for the Reds. If they wasn't already in and they weren't dead and buried, you go up 5-0 and you lose that game. I'm sorry, that's kind of the nail in the coffin. I mean, they're 70-70.
It's a wrap.
The Giants have passed them.
It's a wrap.
I mean, as much as Scott wants the Mets to get the number 1 seed, they're not, and the Reds aren't going to make the playoffs.
Not getting the number 1 seed.
I thought the Reds at the beginning of the season were going to be playoff team, even a chance of winning the Central. And they have grossly underperformed. And it's situations like this where they have a lead. That ballpark, though, it is tough to keep a lead. I get it.
5-0, though. 5-0, no.
5 homers for the Blue Jays, too. Springer is out of his mind.
Here's the thing. Last year, we thought, everyone remember a couple years ago, the Reds made that late run. And then last year, everyone was like, oh, this is the Reds year. They figured it out. This year, they got Tito Francona. They did this. They did that.
Still mid.
Still got to spend some money.
Still mid.
And Brian Hayes, no offense to Brian Hayes, but that's not the money I'm talking about.
That wasn't the answer.
That wasn't the money we were talking about.
Helpful-ish for run prevention, but not the answer.
Yeah, but in that ballpark, look at when the Reds have been good in that ballpark. Votto, Frazier, all those dudes that could hit homers. They had dudes, Adam Dillon, they had dudes that could hit homers.
Bruce Phillips, yeah.
Yeah, those were dudes.
Rockies and Reds need to build to their ballpark.
But they could pitch, too. I mean, when you talk about they had Cueto, they had Homer, all that stuff. They could do both.
Yeah. All right, slap hands next.
I know all these have a good year.
Juicy. And Ellie. Mm-hmm. Him and Ellie are their own. Who else hits on that team? Consistent.
Kind of my point.
It's 2 guys. Yeah, what a bad year. All right, 2 more locks to go. AJ's up next.
Geez, I lost my lock because I'm going easy. Tampa Bay money line, Yankees money line. Rodon, I think, is going to pitch well for the Yankees, and they'll figure out the bullpen and get through it. And then the Guardians are traveling to Tampa. The Guardians are 1-8, I think 1-7 in their last 8 road games. Haven't played well. They won last night. Got in late to Tampa from Boston. It's farther than you think it is. Be a little bit tired. Pepio, a guy who we've had on the show, is great. I think he's pitching, so I'm going Tampa.
Are we going to be going to Tampa to cover playoff games? For Stu Sternberg's last year?
But I would like to.
Last year.
I would love that personally.
We'll hop and a skip over to Tampa.
I've done it before. It's great.
Nope.
FP Live from Tampa.
You keep saying you want to go there for a regular season game, and you haven't made it happen yet, Scott. So this is all on you.
I only will go if you go with me.
What do you think? I'm going to sit here?
You're going to come?
Of course I would go.
All right, let's look at the schedule. I'll just tell everyone. So for me, I'm going with a nerfy. Twins, White Sox. Taj Bradley, the new Taj Bradley.
He's studying.
So I'll take a nerfy on that one at -120. I'll go 240 to win 200. Try and get myself back in the green.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Oh, and let me read the little thing, and then I'll look at the schedule. No sweat token for football tonight. To use that token, add a bet on a pro football event, although technically nowadays college is pro. But this is NFL. Receive a bonus bet if that bet was made.
Starts tonight, Scott.
With the
Cowboys,
token.
Eagles. Did you know that?
Yeah. I
Go
heard the
Birds.
Eagles tried to get Micah Parsons, and they gave him the tush push. He said no.
Tomorrow night is in Sao Paulo? The Chiefs
Yeah.
and the Chargers?
Yeah, I'm excited because it's on YouTube, and we love YouTube.
Sao Paulo.
Let's see, for the Rays, I'm looking at the next home, mid-September against the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. That's the last stretch. That's the one. Okay?
No,
We're going to get to one of those. The 15th through the 21st. Oh, no, I'm away the whole time. I'm away. That's the week I'm away.
I'll go.
I'll be at the Rays playoff game.
I'll go. What about Monday the 8th?
Like this Monday? No, they're not here. They're off. Don't have a game.
Not off.
No, the Rays are off.
What?
They're not. Am I looking at the wrong schedule?
Oh, wait. Sorry.
No, it's 9-7. There's
Sorry,
not much left.
Didn't catch up.
Damn, season's ending quickly now.
23 games.
We know we're not muted. We're just chatting. We like people to know what's going on behind the scenes here.
Ooh, let's go do a game at Wrigley.
I would love to. Did you see the...
I'll be in Chicago that day, too. I'll be playing golf.
Wait, you know who Laura Rutledge is? She's a sideline reporter.
Married to the ex-Rockies Rutledge guy.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, Josh.
Mm-hmm.
So she did an interview on Andrew Marchand's podcast the other day, and she admitted that she had been running a burner account for years going after media members. So here's an example of one from Alden Gonzalez. He brought up a tweet from Halo Billy 27. Billy Thomas was her name that she was going with. He goes, Grant Green, opposite field homer, walk-off at AAA Salt Lake tonight. This was in 2015. And Laura replies, you forgot to mention Josh Rutledge. 3 for 5, homer, double, single. But of course you forgot. What's Featherston's average, by the way?
Who's Featherston?
What was his name? Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
But the point is,
she was firing.
This guy's wife was taking shots at media members to say, hey, don't forget about that Josh Rutledge dude. There was this burner account just loving Josh Rutledge. Thought it was funny. We're back. Any thoughts on that? Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that did burner accounts. Wasn't Kevin Durant had like 17 burner accounts and go after people? Like, come on, dude, you're better than that.
You're Kevin Durant. That's what you want to do with your free time? I mean, you know who looks at his phone instantly after every game in Major League Baseball? No, in baseball? Jazz. He replied to a fan within 10 minutes, I think it was, after last night's game.
Do you know what that means?
I do.
That's not something you should be replying.
So many donuts.
That's exactly what he meant.
So many donuts. Yeah, you shouldn't say that to someone, but that's what he does.
I don't know.
Have you ever heard of a player?
First of all, we used to talk about this a lot. Kratz, I'm assuming would go with me here that you would always tell guys like, if you have a bag, just don't look at your phone. Like don't respond. You have to. You know how many times people write stuff to me and I just want to fire back at them, and you're just like, no. Like,
but what about a wife or a girlfriend creating an account? I think it was funny. I thought it was funny.
Good try, trying to get attention to her husband. I like the effort.
You need to tell your family the exact same thing AJ just said. Don't read the replies. Don't read the replies. Don't try to call in any of that stuff.
Some of the replies are nice.
Well,
Also, the replies on Twitter often will at us when there's a big topic and they want us to talk about it on FT, and I love that. What do you have on your head today?
Yankees got to get back in Got to get back in that Yankee state of mind and finish out this series here. I think it's bigger than people think. And Rodon he's got to step up. He's got to step up and be that number 2 guy behind Fried and in front of Schlittler.
Yankees Astros is fun. It's a good watch. Last night it was fun.
It was.
You know,
Yankees.
It's just a good series. There's good juice with those two for a long time now.
Yankees get a lot of hate, and I think they are a better team than what people. They have flaws. I'm not saying they don't have flaws, but I think they're a better team and can be very dangerous.
I 1000% agree. The brand of baseball can work in the playoffs too. Can't string rallies together, take a few walks, bop homers.
Mm-hmm. I get to go on Pinstripe territory and chat about the game tonight with old D-Rock.
You're doing the post-game show for Pinstripe?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. I'll check that out. I'll be on a plane. I'll watch it on the plane after the game. FT fam, we will see you tomorrow. Taylor Rashi is joining us tomorrow. Oh, that's the guy who made the debut, about 8 years in? Yeah, closed out the game the other day. We pitched really well against the Rangers. What? We talked about him on the show the other day. Oh, were you not on?
Have a good weekend, AJ.
Yep.
AJ's back Monday.